Hey everybody, and welcome to the final Poly Christmas stream. Despite what others may tell you, the 12 days of Christmas goes well into January, and we're still within the 12 days of Christmas, so I wanted to get at least one more off during this festive season. And joining me today is a first-timer on the channel, the Jack motherfucking Cochran. How are you, Jack?
Good, how are you?
Doing very good. And of course, the one-ton-hammer.
Hey guys.
And joining us forthwith will be ChaosEve, who is, as I'm told, Hammer, driving home, not recklessly, to join
frantically but legally.
Frantically but legally. So that's a good thing. We don't want to find out that Chaos didn't show up because of some careening into a gutter or something. So guys, we were talking before the stream started there in the Google Hangout, and the Warski stream, huh? I know, Hammer, you didn't watch it, but
yeah,
no.
I'm not a big fan of the Warskis. Sorry, I know a lot of people are.
Oh yeah, there's nothing to apologize for. But Jack, you did watch it, correct?
I watched as much as I could take, and it
okay.
wasn't that much, quite honestly.
Well, I'm curious, how far did you get into it? Because it's actually still going. I think he's still doing super chats.
Yeah, I think they were on like 4 hours.
Mm.
I quit before Monkey started their stream.
Oh, that early? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I jumped back a few times, but I was like, nope, I don't have the patience for it. It was just same circular talking, people talking at each other.
Did Platty just call us hobos in chat? Yeah. What? Hobos? I was like, is that hobos or homos? What is he calling us?
I am not a hobo. I am a bum. Please get it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hobos ride the rails for work. I do not do that.
Ride the rail.
I love that there was a time when calling somebody a tramp meant that they were a rail rider, a hobo. But now you call someone a tramp and it means something quite different.
Yeah, there's actually a distinction between tramps and hobos, too. Tramps don't work, hobos do.
Really? That's the only difference?
Yeah, you don't want to misgender a hobo because that's fighting words.
Right.
If you call a hobo a tramp, you might get stabbed.
It was the first time that I ever heard those connection between those two words was actually when I was watching JFK. Big fan of that film because not so much for the conspiracy of it, but the filmmaking of it and the editing. And there's a reason it won the Academy Award for editing. It's spectacularly done and a big, huge, epic film. But there's one point where they're talking about the tramps and hobos that got arrested. And I was like, wait a minute. So they arrested like bar sluts and guys with no jobs? And it was like, no, that's not what they meant. They meant both rail riders, some employed, some not. And I was like, oh, okay.
They meant a bunch of shiftless layabouts and some migrant workers.
Right. Gold brickers. Lollygaggers.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, back to the Warski stuff. So Hammer, do you know what happened? Why anybody's talking about it?
Let's don't they have the alt-right guy Spencer on their stream?
Correct. It was that they had.
I think that's what the whole brouhaha is about. No one who has an opinion other than what specific people want are allowed to talk because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
And it was going up against Sargon, which is how the video was titled. It was Sargon versus Spencer. And it's these guys have gone back and forth. Sargon, of course, is a big challenger, a critic, whatever you want to call it, of the alt-right, specifically of Richard Spencer. And so it's like, now here these guys are, and they're going head to head. But then JF and Warski were moderating, and a bunch of other people popped in. Kevin Logan popped in. Millennial Woes came in towards the end. Fucking V. Yeah. I don't know. A lot of it was talking about like ethno-states and challenging the base ideas is what I would say, the basic notions and principles behind how are you even going, we want an ethno-state and this is what I want. And Richard Spencer saying identity is where one should start from, not principle of, say, individualism, which is how conservatives in this country, referring to the United States, have fucked up thus far, is that they didn't consider identity before other things is the departure point for their worldview. Where Sargon, of course, is coming from it's of principle. And it's funny to hear two people that are coming from such a different perspective end up clashing on something where Sargon will say, what are you talking about? This has been the idea of a state ever since John Locke. To which Richard Spencer's like, see, I don't care what John Locke says. John Locke was part of an identity group, and this is the way that it works, and referencing this guy. He called Sargon autistic how many times, would you say? Jack? Like, at least over 30. At least.
Yeah, he needs new insults. He's bad at it.
I think he sees, and this is a guess, I can't read the man's mind, but I think he sees the internet and ponage culture, Kekistan, so forth, as an avenue for advancing his ideas. So he's riding that car until the wheels fall off, like he's trying to hop on board. And
oh, absolutely.
I got my little Pepe pin right here, and it's like, oh, so you're down with the memes, are you, brother? Yeah, well,
yeah. He said Steve Buscemi meme. Hey kids.
Right. Hello, fellow Kekistanis.
Yeah.
Did Spencer come up with any arguments that actually were difficult to defend, or did he win any points?
Spencer, you're asking about.
Yeah, what did I say?
I was vaping and I didn't hear. That's why I asked.
Yeah, Spencer, did he come up with anything that was like, well, okay, maybe that?
I didn't hear anything new.
Nothing new, no. If you were not familiar with his ideas before, no. JF did a better job representing Spencer's position than Spencer did for his own position.
Yeah, which is stupid because JF was supposed to be like a moderator with Andy. He wasn't supposed to be arguing one side or the other, but it was really just a dog pile on Sargon at that point.
It was. I do have to say, though, it turned into a dog pile on Spencer towards the end. JF only called out the dog pile on. I mean, JF is an interested party, and he describes himself as such. So you can't exactly say that. Sargon cut him off. I mean, did you hear that part where he said, "I thought you were here as a moderator. What are you doing arguing one person's position?" And and then JF came back and said, "Hey, if you want to see me as a moderator of somebody who just keeps time, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to forward the conversation so that it'll be interesting. And when you're misrepresenting somebody's position, I'm going to challenge you on it as an interested party." And it's like, yeah, but you're only interested in one side of this argument, aren't you, JF? You make it pretty clear. I'm not even saying he's right or wrong. It's just anybody listening, I think it's fairly clear which side he supports.
Yeah, and Sargon's not that great of a debater to begin with. So,
you know what? He's not. And so Hammer and I, if I remember correctly, had this discussion. Mm-hmm. We both agreed on that. It's just Sargon is good at the things that he does, which is, crowdsource material and open source material, bring it together and argue his ideological viewpoint. And he can throw in a fair amount of humor if you like the get fucked, you must be kidding me type perspective. Then it works and it's funny. But as a debater, as a live debater, no, he's not very adept at it, I have to say. That's now full disclosure. I'm a big fan of Sargon. I like his material. I like his stuff. I like his videos. Yeah. So I'm biased.
My mom would say he's not good on the pin. Meaning when you put him in a position where he has to come up with something right now, that he's not that great at that.
Yeah, but give him 10 minutes, he'll find the answer.
Right.
He's a good presenter, like old style debates where you gave a position, the Lincoln Douglas debate style.
Yeah, right. That's
This is the problem I have when people define this kind of stuff, because they say debate. Well, they didn't actually have a debate. Me and Polly have talked about this as well. They had an argument. That's different than a debate.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I will. Oh, now it's an official Polly stream and a Christmas one. Far's telling me off in the chat. Nice. I feel warm inside suddenly. It's great.
I miss Far. She spent all that time in Japan. We haven't seen her in a while.
Did I see? Platty asked, you see what I posted yesterday? You're gonna have to remind me.
Name change.
Oh, for Far. Or for him.
No.
Or her.
No.
Somebody.
Platty posted a picture of herself. private.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Is her hair as luxurious as I've been led to believe?
She has long hair.
No.
The picture really didn't. It was just a straight-on shot of the face, so you really couldn't see her from the side. But
I think Deco just called me incompetent. Have I ever said otherwise? At streaming, I've never said I'm an expert streamer. I merely said that I'm getting better at it, which, you know.
Well, I can say that I'm watching the live feed and I haven't seen any buffering yet.
Yeah, well, according to OBS, I have 0 drop frames, so that's good. Keeping my eye on it.
Very nice.
Yeah. But why did I decide to stream right now? I was trying to plan it out for Chaos and not knowing when Jack was going to sleep and trying to bring everybody in. And I just ended up throwing out 11 Eastern as a time.
Yeah,
and Chaos
I posted in Discord about this. I said we came on early so it would lessen the impact on the minion stream. We came in at 11 instead of 11:30, and Jack has some time limits, and we wanted to try to get Jack on. So this is the best time to stream, because your stream will end during the middle of the minion stream, and people can just switch over to the minion stream from there.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I prefer to have Jack off.
Jesus Christ. What? We invited you on for quality puns. What the hell was that?
I don't know. If you wanted quality, boy, did you come to the Big Lots version.
As your mother would say, Hammer, he's not good on the pin. When he's good.
Hey, Chaos.
Hey.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the stream, Chaos. To the final Christmas stream.
Home safe and sound.
Good. No injuries incurred. Good thing.
None at all.
So I take it
Are you driving through snow and all that kind of stuff, or?
It's cold, but it doesn't snow in Memphis. If it snows in Memphis, you're gonna die. I'm not kidding. If it snows, we get ice. We get snow so bad that you can't drive in it.
And no equipment whatsoever to assist with removing said snow and ice because it's Memphis.
Well, they do, but it takes forever because they don't have much of it. So.
You've been propositioned in chat, Jack. Just saying.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, all right.
Love our chat.
Yeah, our chat's awesome. They're pretty khaki. So I take it that you didn't have a chance to watch the Warski stream, Chaos.
I did not. I've been busy all day.
Reject
I
says.
did see.
Go ahead.
I did see Scott. I think posted it in the. Can you hear me?
I can, absolutely.
Okay. I did see Scott posted it in the post your content thing, but I didn't have a chance to watch it.
Okay. That's what we were talking about for a little bit, like sort of like back and forth with Spencer and so on. I am always surprised how many people come out, like alt-writers online, people that are supportive of alt-right stuff. I don't know what they do IRL, but online, man, they will swarm, and they swarm streams and shit. The hate that was going on for Sargon was amazing. Like this, first of all, Andy had the stream set to slow, where you can only post once every 30 seconds, but there were 11,500 people watching the stream, so the chat was still fucking flying. And the thousands he raked in super chats.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Holy fuck, like $100, $50, $20, $200. Like, whoa, Andy. Damn, buddy. Trending #1, and after that #2 worldwide on YouTube. Fuck. I was so it raised some questions in my mind where it's like, when you have an alt-writer talking about promoting and ultimately ending up at an ethno state, this is Spencer declaring very clearly, I don't think anybody would deny, he said, that we're living in the last days of the American empire. It is falling. The only question is who's going to rule the ashes after it falls. I was like, Jesus.
It's kind of dramatic.
Doomsday Slayers, you know.
That sort of thing sells, though. Doomsday cults always bring in people. There's always a lot of negativity out there that you can feed off of to draw people in like that.
Christianity.
Well, that's like Seventh-day Advents were founded on a doomsday philosophy, and so were the Mormons, even to a limited extent.
Yeah,
So,
I think Jack's absolutely right there. He just named off particular things. Like, is Christianity eschatological and apocalyptic as a whole? No, not even close. But there certainly are those strains of it within it. Oh yeah, there's more than enough material to take advantage of that if you want to go that way. Seventh-day Adventist's a word I could never say properly. You know, good example.
yeah. Yeah, I think when times are tough, it's easy to draw people in with a doomsday type scenario and offer them a hope and way out. There's a great book called The True Believer, and it talks about that, how people get suckered in, especially the newly poor, because they're the ones that panic the most. People that have been consistently poor are a lot harder to trick because they're used to people like that coming along. They've been played before. But people that just got poor or that just changed their socioeconomic status in some regard, they're the ones that'll fall into that. And you're seeing that in schools with like the kids segregating. You know, there was that story out of New York a year or two ago where the kids got cupcakes if they were minorities and the white kids didn't. They were segregated.
Yeah.
That sort of thing builds resentment. Kids especially
does.
don't forget that. And after a few years, those kids are going to be the type that can be easily recruited into these type of movements. And I think we're starting to see some of that.
One doesn't even need to go to examples like, you know, the cupcake, and we're going to teach about white privilege. And it's, yeah, but those experiments and those things do not serve to show why positive discrimination, is called in the UK, or affirmative action, as it's called in the United States and other places. It doesn't do anything but fuel resentment. You know what I mean? Like, equality of opportunity is the only thing that's resentment free. Attempting to fix historical wrongs, it could be done purposefully and operantly. One of my favorite movies, because it's just a great throwback movie, is Spike Lee's second film called School Days, and it's an examination of historically black college culture on campus, because there's a lot of things that are unique and endemic to those campuses. And he went to Spelman, I believe it was, or Morehouse College. It takes place over a homecoming weekend, and he's got the different groups there, which are fraternities are huge at the colleges that he went to and frequented. And like any fraternity, or sorority, you end up having certain groups of people there. There was the light-skinned girls with long hair sorority. They were largely rich girls. And then there were the dark-skinned girls with short hair. And that was like, they were from less affluent areas. He took the actors, and to engender anger between those two groups, because they said angry things to each other on film all the time, and he wanted it to be authentic, he put the light-skinned girls up in the fancy hotel with room service and put the dark-skinned girls sorority in the Motel 6, and they had to go get their own food, and the only thing close by was a Popeye's chicken.
Oh.
And
that wasn't so bad until you hit the Popeye's chicken. Then it became really bad.
Right? And made sure that they both knew where the other was situated. And when you watch that film, they are just seething at each other. Part of it is because they're good actors. The other part is because it's coming from a genuine place. And I bring it up, one, because I find it interesting. Spike Lee's kind of a madman, mad scientist filmmaker, you know. And then secondarily, all it does is breed resentment, man. You know, equality of opportunity is the only thing that's resentment free, in my opinion.
No, I agree with that. But there are, you know, people, especially dumb people. I know that's going to sound bad, but some people are more gullible than others and will follow somebody that promises them a way out. And people like Spencer offer that. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of their followers are especially younger people that feel very disenfranchised.
I want to get back to that point, but I just want to read off a couple of chats that had come by in the meantime here, so it doesn't seem like I'm ignoring chat. Reject said a while back, you, meaning me, and Hammer should have a debate on one of the Friday night streams to show them what a debate stream is. I would be interested in... yeah, and we have.
We've talked about it.
And we did. But I've become convinced...
Explain what a debate is, because you and I have the same opinion about what a debate is as opposed to what we've seen on the internet.
A debate is where you have a central resolved question that is understood by all parties involved. That it's like, be it resolved that X, and it's stated as an affirmative statement. It's declarative. One person takes, and there's a clear yay or nay on it.
Give them an example. Be it declared that the sky is blue.
Right. That the sky is in fact blue. And then one person would take yay and the other person would take nay. And it would be.
And that is arrived at arbitrarily.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you believe personally that the sky is blue or not is irrelevant. You are assigned yay or nay. And regardless of what your personal feelings are about it, you argue your point. Even if it's something you don't agree with, that's debate.
And we had a question about how formal a debate need be. And I ended up thinking that debates were informal and you had to call them a formal debate for them to be that. I didn't realize that plugged into the word debate was a level of formality is implied necessarily. I did not know that.
Well, a level of civility, if nothing else, but generally formality, yes.
Yeah, and informality depends on the degree of formality you're going to go to. There's a reason they go, yay and nay positions equally go introduction, rebuttal, statement of purpose, conclusion.
Yes, a debate is intended to be adversarial. Now, you can include that as part of its default, but there's no written item that says you must be adversarial. You can walk and shake hands, be friends, and have a beer just before you go to the debate. And when you're in the debate, you could crack jokes and be friendly, and that's all, certainly plausible if both sides agree. But by definition, it is supposed to, or at least by inferment, it is supposed to be adversarial. And your idea is not to convince the other person. That's what everyone talks about with these debates online. They're not debates. They're arguments and discussions where you're trying to change the other guy's mind. Debates are not about that.
Yeah.
Debates are about the audience. You're trying to change the audience's mind.
And
people don't get this shit.
And it's like the strength of an argument doesn't even matter if I got in and does everyone know that Hammer's a cocksucker? Like that's irrelevant. Like it's going to seem lame when
that's immediately bad form.
Yeah,
like you lost your argument.
What's that, Cass?
So you mean Tonka Saw is not proper debate? Oh my god!
Bubble bursted.
Well, to be fair though,
disillusioned now.
Yeah. Most people don't see formal debate anymore. Even at high school level, you really don't see that in class or anything like that. Even in colleges, you don't see much.
Lost art.
I will tell you that. Well, I remember SDA talking about it. And she said it kind of bores me because it's like sport, and I'm not a big sports fan. And she did it in high school. Was part of the debate team, and came out of it.
Does not get the face chair. I'm not interested.
I'm sorry, you kind of cut out for me. What'd you say there?
Oh, I said if Geraldo isn't getting hit in the face with a chair, I'm not interested.
By a Nazi? Because he was hit by a Nazi. Are you declaring your allegiance here? You want to see the alt-right Nazis pounding people?
If Richard Spencer picks up a chair and throws it at Sargon and hits Geraldo by accident, I'm not going to complain.
Right. Fair enough. The thing that, Tonka Saw, I was watching the only time I've ever watched a whole Kumite in its entirety. I forget who was on it, but it's because Jim showed up. That's why I went and watched it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to watch that because Jim was there, basically. They were talking about how annoying they find this whole Ponzi YouTube thing where people are going to debate. I don't care about debates. I don't want fucking blood sport. I want to see people tear into each other. And I thought a few things. It's like, one, if you want to see people tear into each other, and the people that are showing up damn well know that that's what's going on, and that's all you're trying to do, well then fuck, who has any position to tell you not to do it? Go ahead, have a good time, What I took issue with was, you called it the Ponzi YouTube debate thing that's been going on up until now. Where did you see debates going on up until now, Tonka? Because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, what he calls a debate, we call an argument.
Yeah.
And so his idea of an informal debate, that stupid Kumite thing he does, is really just screaming at each other. He's got some weird wrestling obsession, and it's very obviously carrying over into his supposed debate style.
And it depends on the audience and what you're trying to do. If you're trying to prove a point or change someone's mind, that's more debate. If you're just trying to get your aggressions out and be entertaining, well, that's an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I find the Jack brought up the wrestling thing. It's like, yeah, he does have a big thing for wrestling. It's clear from the gifs he uses during his stream and so on. And you want to like pro wrestling? Cool. Like, I understand why it's entertaining. It's not my thing, but whatever. But I mean, dude, that's all staged for your entertainment. So when you're saying you want a Kumite, and you're patterning it after pro wrestling, you want it staged for the uproarious rancor of the audience? Okay, but why are you wasting certain people? Why are certain people wasting their time by going on it who actually want to convince anybody of anything? Like, if you want to say promoting pedophilia online or normalization of pedophilia online, don't go to the Kumite to do it. You're wasted. If you have valid points, don't go there. And it's just, first of all, everyone's just going to want to pounce on the person who's saying pedophiliacs are not monsters. Everyone's going to want to pounce on that person, and rightly so. But it's, you're not going to learn anything about the issue. What's that?
Yeah, I thought so. It's not Kumite. It's Kumite.
No, it's Kumite.
Do you want to hear it again? I'll play it again if you want.
Hammer, I'm not willing to troll you on my own stream. I damn well know it's Kumite. Chaos started the...
No. The definition is wrong.
Chaos is one who started it, said Kumite. I thought it was funny as fuck, and I just rolled with it. Because it's like, let's...
Scott is so
are you guys... Are you guys... Yeah, I was going to say, are you looking at chat?
No, I'm not looking at chat.
Look at chat.
Is Scott freaking out, the poor guy?
But it can be very, very well evidenced by he got Monkey on, and the only way he got Monkey on was by sitting there screaming and yelling and getting upset about of all the things, the stupidest thing of, I'm not a drama channel, and it's like, yeah, you are. Calm down. You like starting fights, you like the drama, you like the argument. It's fine. Right. Just own up to what you are. That's all Monkey was saying, and that's the only reason Monkey was even on there is because he called him a drama channel, and sit there and argued about that for like an hour, and I'm just like, why?
Because they needed more drama for the drama horse stream. I mean, Kumite.
I like calling it Kumite because it somehow makes it's like calling a big huge guy tiny. It's diminutizing,
it like kind of substance on Star Trek that you had to get to solve a problem.
Yeah, the gayest substance in the known universe.
Beam down to this planet and collect as much Kumite as we can.
It is.
What?
It sounds like some kind of mineral.
Yeah.
I really like the nickname T Sparkle too. That was stellar.
I keep calling him Tonka Toy.
Tonka Toy.
And Hammer just threw up a great one. Kumite. Yeah. It's Mate. Don't argue.
Yeah, if you read it how I wrote it, you can't mispronounce it. So KOOMUHTAY. You can't mispronounce it that way.
I'm not even criticizing. You want to do it in that way. Okay, there's going to be a group of people out there that are going to think it's lame. To present it as a blood sport, blood in the ring, someone's getting their fucking head ripped off, and all the
Sunday.
Yeah, someone's just gonna be like, dude, I came here for the arguments, not your hyperbole. If you know what I mean, like two guys tearing into each other. Okay, but this isn't new for me. I'm the same guy that when I'm looking at the YouTube recommends along the right-hand side of the screen, and it's like, watch Ben Shapiro completely eviscerate this SJW. And I'm like, oh my God, why isn't he in jail?
We have to remember to hit up the fact that Ben Shapiro and Blair White are going to appear with each other.
Oh, really?
Really?
You see that on Twitter? Yeah.
No.
I missed that.
Yeah. Blair White
I'm
and
excited.
Ben Shapiro. Shapiro was just on the Rubin Report, and Rubin said you should get together with Blair. So Blair DM'd Ben Shapiro and said, "Let's do it." And he says, we'll figure out a time." So they're going to do it.
Nice.
Wow.
Should be amazing. But did you see the whole thing with Theron Meyer jumping in the middle of this because she needs attention?
Yeah. I was about to say because she needs to. Yeah, I took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. Did you see that she jumped in the middle of this?
I haven't seen any of this.
On Rubin Report, Ben says, I can't call Blair she because I know what's between her legs. Kind of. I mean, I'm being a little crude there, but the point is he can't do it publicly. Personally, off the air when he's not representing his opinion to the masses, he may at that point be use more discretion and be more polite and call her to her face at that point. But when he's public and expressing his opinion, he has to say what he truly believes, and what he's already said all along. So during that whole discussion about that, Theron Meyer jumped in and said, you have to call her a her, because that's what you need to do. That's respectful. And I tweeted, I got in the middle of this because I usually don't, but I got in the middle. So I said, so what you're telling me is Ben has to say what you tell him to say. So it's not coming out of his own mouth. I says, even though Blair has said many times, no matter what she does, she is a man. So you're defending a person who's saying, well, in actuality, I'm a man. So what Ben is saying is actually right. But you're going to defend her in contradiction.
Yeah.
It just amazes me. It just amazes me.
Well, Theron has to say that because of Bill C-16.
Yeah, right.
Oh God.
Is Theron Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder. Canada is a weird place.
Canada? Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's going to happen. So Blair and Ben are going to get together. I don't know if it's going to be on Blair's channel or Ben's podcast or how it's going to happen, but they're working on it. So I sent out a tweet saying, "Yay, this is going to be like perfect." So,
well, I know that Blair, in my impression, only got hot talking to Candace Owens, Red Pill Black, because of how incredibly confrontational and accusatory Red Pill Black was.
She
opened with that shit. That pissed me so.
Exactly.
Because she's like, before we even get started debating, I just want to make sure that everyone.
I want to insult you. Before you start, just let me insult you.
For all my alt-right peeps out there, like it was.
I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't think that talking to Ben Shapiro, Blair is going to get hot at all. That's just not my impression anyway.
Here's an interesting thing.
It'll be an actual debate, not a.
Here's an interesting thing to consider. Have we heard anything from her since?
No.
Exactly.
To my knowledge, she hasn't posted a single video.
Yeah.
Wow.
She became cancer in just 10 minutes.
Yep.
Into that thing. Nobody wants to have anything to do with her anymore. She is taking the same path as Onision, just fading out into nowhere.
Well, at least Onision, like I said before, was starting out with 2 million subs, so he can work his way down for a good long while and slowly bleed out to the point where he dies. Red Pill Black
more entertaining anyway.
Yeah, I know. He totally is. I'm going to be sad when that lolcow's gone. The only thing that I find really depressing about Onision is the amount of Patreon money and stuff that he pulls in. It's like, people, go give your money to, it's not that I'm not getting it. Go give it to somebody you like other than that guy. That guy don't give that guy your money. Go find another creator on YouTube or whatever that you like. You know,
if you want to give money, there are places to give money that can actually make a difference. There's a place called Charity Water that makes sure that people who don't have clean water get clean water. You want to save a life? You want to do something important? That's where you spend your money.
Or you could do what I do and make homeless people do cartwheels for $1.
Moved up from the bum fights, have you? Good for you.
No, they just work cheaper for cartwheels. Bum fights, you're looking at $20 easy, or a bottle of Jack Daniels, whatever.
Oh my God, you're so.
I didn't claim I was a good person.
Well, you got me there. I can't hold that. Yeah. With the question that spawned all that, the debate thing that Reject had done, I don't know, man. Remember when we were talking about artificial intelligence on my stream? We killed it. Like, killed the stream, I mean. Not killed it in terms of quality. People fucked off on us. I think we're just going to bore the shit out of people with a actual debate topic. That is my concern, anyway.
I guess. I mean, if it's you, and I'm sorry if I'm not sounding right. I'm trying to take my shoe off. I'm not a person who enjoys the classic debate. I don't mind the discussions that you and I have, and it's more of a discussion than anything, because it's a little bit of poking fun at each other, a little bit of fun, a little bit of getting pissed, and that's interesting. I think a formal debate, I'm not good at it. I'm not comfortable with it, because I'm too damn lazy to do the work to support an opinion, unless it's one that I know. If you came to me and said, let's talk Star Trek, all right, we can have a debate on Star Trek. I know Star Trek. That's fine. I can debate both sides. I can be the guy who says Kirk's great, and I can be wrong too. That's not a big deal. And if you came to me,
Chaos just dying over there.
if you came to me about MGTOW, I know MGTOW. We can have a debate on that all day long. But if you came with me on a subject that I don't know, I'm not. I can't bring myself to fully investigate the topic well enough to be prepared for a formal debate. Anybody who knows anything about it is going to beat me easily. I just won't be a good opponent.
Now, I mean, I'd of course be interested to hear what chat would think about that. Our chat's khaki, but it's small enough that we could actually get some opinions on that. Perhaps when we turn it over to chat, questions along that line, like, why do you assholes think anybody actually wants to listen to you? Stuff like that. But Scott, back a while, asked, why are skeptics persecuting Andy for having Richard Spencer on? That raises a question that I have. Andy was talking about at the end of the stream that somebody was just tisming out on Twitter, harassing him endlessly, one of his, quote, former friends, for having Richard Spencer on. I'm dying to know who the fuck he was talking about. Who was fucking with him? I don't want to go through a million tweets to find out.
Former friends. Who's recently become a former friend?
Wizard of Cost and Jeff Holiday, probably.
Yep.
Ah, you think so? Okay.
That would be my guess. I don't know.
No, it makes sense. I
don't watch Holiday any more than I watch Andy anyway. So neither one of them are my kind of guys. I'm a Bering guy. Bering and Monkey are my guys.
Well, which raises the next question. Scott McGinnis asked, why did Monkey persecute Andy for having JF and Richard Spencer on his stream? I don't know if he persecuted him exactly, but I guess it depends on your definition of persecute. I did see the tweet that Monkey sent out of we was Kangs over JF. And it was, I'm assuming that that's like a callback to a former time of white pride or something like that. That's my best guess. I don't know. Did JF say? I don't follow these guys like JF very, very closely. I follow them, but only in so much as they're involved in this stream or that stream. So I'm not really sure what Monkey was getting at there. I have heard Monkey talk about JF, describe him as, oh, he's this French-Canadian fucktard alt-right race realist guy. And that was all he described him as, and it was dismissive as fuck. And so I don't know. Did Monkey repeatedly tweet about it?
Yeah, I didn't hear. Yeah, I didn't hear what Monkey said. I missed the show today because I was out shopping with the girlfriend. But him being a First Amendment, and I'll call him an absolutist, a First Amendment absolutist. He believes in the First Amendment to all ends. You have a right to free speech, no matter what, except for calling fire in a theater, that kind of thing. But he believes in the First Amendment very strongly. I think we all know this about Monkey. So if he's saying, I think that guy's a fuckhead, well, that's okay. If he says he shouldn't have been on Andy's show, that's bullshit.
Right.
Free speech is free speech, even for Spencer. So don't let me hear you say, well, he shouldn't have been on Andy's stream. That's bullshit.
Best guess.
I don't know if he said that, but
yeah.
See, I don't think he actually said anything like that. I think maybe he was critical of it because I didn't see the stream either. But knowing Monkey, I know his response. Yeah. Maybe he may have been critical of the way Andy handled the situation or something like that. But
perfectly legitimate.
I don't think he would have criticized him for having him on. Period.
Neither do I. I'd be interested to see if I was wrong about that. That doesn't seem like Monkey to do that. I would be fascinated to see if he did. I doubt it.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't like JF. I don't think he would say don't go on there. But I don't particularly like JF either because he sounds like a snob.
One thing, French.
He's French. Yeah, I don't know, but isn't that the same? That's the same criticism we come out with. I read a comment underneath a video where Sargon and JF were talking previously, and one of the YouTube comments said, "Have you ever noticed how English people get extra English when they're suddenly on the defensive?" And it had all of these like 300 likes on it and stuff like that. I think there's like this inherent. You hear an English accent, you assume that it's certain types of English accents anyway. You assume that it's educated and highly thinking of themselves or speaking from a superior position. And then with the French, you assume they're going to smell bad and be arrogant. As soon as you hear the accent, what I love about listening to JF talk that I do find funny is he says raw shit because his accent is so thick and his knowledge of English is clearly English as a second language. So he's saying stuff where I do not think that your position is good. Like he just says things so flatly because he doesn't have this immense
this big long term, and he says good.
Yeah, where that would like throw someone else into a rage if you had spoken so bluntly to them. But he could kind of get away with it because it's a second language. It's great. It's
You know how I am about accents. I love accents. So just listen to the guy talk. I'm like, wow, I enjoy listening to him. I don't necessarily agree with anything he says. I don't agree with mostly anything any of them say. But I like I believe Monkey would say and it's how many times have you heard this? I would defend their right to say it. So I think having Spencer on was fantastic. I'm glad Andy did it. It proves the fact of free speech.
It proves the fact of free speech, particularly in my opinion, that more speech, not less speech, is the solution to what you think of as bad speech, because it actually creates the marketplace for ideas.
Absolutely.
And if it's actually
I want to hear
then...
Spencer talk. I want everyone to hear Spencer talk so we can all point at him and say you're bullshit.
Yeah.
Please keep talking so we can all make fun of you.
Yeah, he says some really dumb shit. And not even in a convincing way. It's just, oh, really? It's something you would hear like your racist grandpa say.
my grandfather was no racist. You leave my grandpa out of this, fucker.
Well, I try to stay away from his side of the street. I can give JF a little bit of room, a very little bit of room, but I don't have anything that I can believe that ever came out of Spencer's mouth. Nothing he's ever said have I ever even found a way to find to agree with. Where JF can say some stuff and I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, well, I don't know, but Spencer is just like, I can't listen to the guy.
Hammer, what is this GIMP thing related to computers that school's been talking about? I saw him talking about it in Discord earlier. I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Yes, GIMP is a Linux version of Photoshop.
Ah, okay.
It's like freeware, isn't it?
Yeah, everything on Linux is freeware, basically.
Is it?
Well, it's also available on Windows and Microsoft. Microsoft.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it doesn't really compare. I mean, Photoshop destroys just about everything as long as you have a year to year and a half to learn Photoshop inside and out, it will destroy everything available on Windows or any platform actually. But if you're just getting in, especially if you've lived in the Linux environment for a period of time, then you were probably using GIMP if you've done any kind of photo work at all. So you're probably used to it. So if you do end up moving over to Windows, well, it's there too.
There's this debate going on about like school was asking about GIMP both in Discord earlier today. I saw the question came up, and then also here in chat, and I was like, I know it's related to the Mac he recently got, but I don't even know what that is. So you're a computer guy, so I thought I'd ask you. Yeah,
well, I mean, GIMP's available on Mac too. Macs is just like Windows, where you have to buy almost all your software. You have to buy. If it's not freeware, you have to purchase it. GIMP's free everywhere.
And why is the debate going on in chat if anyone is smarter than Base Mama? The answer is clearly not. I mean,
well, Base Mama insists that she's got 140 IQ with no substantiating facts behind it.
But she told us. That's it.
Yeah, she told us.
Yeah.
Didn't prove anything, but she just told us. Hey, I got 175 IQ. I'm much smarter than she is.
Oh, she said she was right around there. She changed it. She revised it upward.
Why even say that? I don't even understand. Okay.
Because that's what dumb people do.
See, somebody was talking, I was reading in YouTube comment section underneath, I think it was Bearing's video, the newest one that he came out with her. That she had been a tag-along, sort of like a Steve Bannon kind of character, where it's like just attach themselves to things that seem to be taking off and moving along well. And she had been a person that had been around for a few years, that she attached herself to the whole early atheism movement on YouTube. Like, and by early, I mean like a couple of years ago, before that crashed and burned.
Do you ever meet somebody who your friends or coworkers or somebody would talk up about and say how much they liked them, but there was something about them that you just never liked? Do you ever get in that kind of situation where, Base Mama will show up on, we'll say maybe the Monkey Show, and they're all like, "Hi, it's Base Mama. Hey, how you doing? We'll have you on as a guest. Hey."
Yeah.
And then of thing. You're thinking to myself, I knew there was something not right. I feel that way with her and with Hey, I Think I'm Real. Both of those people, for some reason, I know maybe it's me, maybe I'm just a dick. I don't know. Maybe, but for some fucking reason, those two people,
It's not just
I don't want to be. Yeah, I don't want to be near anyone, either one of them.
This motherfucker will guarantee you that I do not like I Think I'm Real.
You know,
yet he's roaming's butt boy kind of deal. I don't know what's going on there. Roaming just keeps. I'm sorry, Chaos. Roaming just keeps talking about him all the time about how great he is and all this kind. I'm like, why? He's a
These little silly boys, they're like parasitical fish. They go in and clean the teeth out and get the little scraps and hope for a little bit of sexy time, but those girls, just their vaginas dry up as soon as they start talking. Did I say that all that out loud?
Oh, my mouth was moving. I thought that was inside my head.
Yeah, it happens.
Killing me, Chip. Killing me.
I think that there's a whole lot of I really don't care coming from Roaming Millennial, and justified. After her score with that contract with CRTV, man, she's got such a bright future, and she knows it. Like, I'm on to bigger and better things, or bigger things. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying my time on YouTube. I'm going to stay on YouTube and keep doing it, but like, she has no reason to get involved in drama. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's why even fuck around with this stuff with personal fights and shit. I just signed a contract. I'm setting up a big show. It's going to have a huge audience, or hopefully will. And there's every reason to think that it will. I can see her not even, I'm trying to take guesses, and they are total guesses. Why hasn't she walked away from Kilroy or said anything about it?
She's probably getting paid.
Oh, you think so?
She says she's not.
Oh, okay.
I think she is.
$20,000.
She says she's. Would you say, Chaos?
$20,000.
Shut up.
But she says she's not getting that. She tweeted out.
Are you spreading rumors, Chaos? Is that what's going on?
No, I mean, that's what Monkey was saying on the stream last night. Is that freaking even Base Mama was saying in her interview with Baring was that certain speakers they were going to have on were like $20,000, and your jaw just kind of drops. And it's like they only raised $85,000, and you're going to pay $20,000 for a guest. And she made it seem like it was more than one. So that's half. If you have at least 2 guests, plural, at $20,000 a pop, that's half your fucking budget.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and assuming they just pay for like some expenditures and hotel and airfare, Roaming lives in Canada somewhere, so flying her down to Phoenix is not going to be a cheap flight. And they're going to put her up in a decent hotel, probably pay for all her meals. That's going to cost easily $2,000.
Are you sure? I thought she lived here in the States.
Oh, I thought she was Canadian.
She is Canadian, but she lives in like
L.A.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
She's a citizen.
So I need to go to Los Angeles.
No, if memory serves, she got her green card and got it legally after she was talking about it. Like, I immigrated here. Raised in Canada, not born, if I remember correctly,
ridiculous.
And then moved there.
All she had to do was marry me, and I would have got her a green card.
Which is
apparently it doesn't work that way anymore.
Yeah, the marriage is not a fast track in for anybody anymore.
Don't tell her that.
You have to jump over the southwest border like an honest person. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my "did I just say that out loud" moments. But I just find that amazing. You're gonna put yourself on a 10-year wait list to do it legally, or you could just fly to Mexico and then sneak in, and then now it's different somehow. This is insane. I mean, that is when people talk about it, a certain position promotes disrespect for the law and undermines the law, and it's like, oh, that's a slippery slope argument, and that's weak. And it's like, I don't know. I kind of think that it's happened already when in relation to immigration law, where it's, California will declare themselves a sanctuary state, for example, and just openly flouting the law and people cheering them on. And it's like, we don't give a fuck about immigration law. And it's, okay, this promotes disrespect for the law. We can follow the laws that we damn well please. And our state government will support us in this? Okay. Yeah.
For now.
Well, the cost of flying from Canada to LA, well, I guess it would probably be the same thing going to Phoenix. I'm looking at numbers between $301 to $338. So that's one way. So back and forth is $600 plus a hotel for a couple nights, probably $100 a night. 2 or 3 nights, you're talking close to $900 plus food, another $150, $200. So yeah, probably about upwards of $1,000, $1,200 for her round trip. But she specifically tweeted out, "I am not getting $20,000."
No, she might only be getting 5.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure the person who got 20,000 is Christina Hoff Sommers.
Oh, absolutely.
And to be honest with you, yeah, she's worth it.
I thought she said she was only getting 1,000. Christina Hoff Sommers.
Christina Hoff Sommers?
Yeah.
That's like Milo getting 1,000. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
I don't.
She's too big of a name.
That's like Ben Shapiro getting 1,000. I mean, I consider her to be up in that level.
No, that son of a bitch pulls 20, and the only question, like, for his college speaking engagements, and the thing that is like, God, who is funding Young America's Foundation, YAF, who puts on the majority, not all, but most of his college speaking tours? Like, fuck, man, they've got a bottomless supply of money, seemingly.
Wouldn't it be funny if it turned out that was just some big money laundering scam for a drug cartel? And, like, all these speakers are in on it.
Yeah, from the other side, too, the Mercer family, George Soros, they have no political inclinations whatsoever. They're just laundering blow money.
Yeah.
Well, that is the way the Clintons did it. You have the
Republicans have all the money. There's no doubt about that.
Well, excuse me?
The Republicans have all the money.
Okay, well, it's funny it's funny you would say that, following after I just talked about the fucking Clintons with the Clinton Foundation and international money laundering conspiracy, quite literally, getting money from the royal family of Qatar, the royal family of Saudi Arabia. Bill Clinton gets a gift of $1 million on his birthday. 10 days later, he's making a speech at his own Clinton Foundation's event and pays himself $650,000.
Yeah, he's comparing one person to a group.
Did you see their New York house was on fire the other day?
No.
Yeah, it was a couple days ago. The Clintons' house was on fire in New York. I assume they were trying to burn some emails because they don't understand how that works. Burn the servers. Yeah, well, they're old, so. Yeah, their house was on fire the other day. Made the news.
I didn't hear a word.
God, I hope nobody lit fire to it, because you never want to see that. That just doesn't help nothing. I want to see them publicly humiliated, not roasted, like literally. Fuck. Crazy.
So here's the question of the day for me, the deep topic question. If you had the power or the ability to remove the ability of somebody from social media, would it or would it not be Christy Winters?
If I had the power to remove somebody, and you had to, you couldn't refuse the option.
You're gonna have to remove somebody,
right? No, it wouldn't be Christy Winters. No, absolutely
not. It wouldn't be Christy Winters.
Absolutely
really?
not. No, far from it.
Who would it be then?
Well, it's just Christy Winters is not who people think she. Yeah, she's really obnoxious. She gets under my skin too. I hear ya, but she's not the most damaging person out there in terms of promoting fuckery. Like, really? No. Yeah. Oh God, far from it. You're thinking like YouTube insular world. No, she's a small fish in an extremely large pond.
I know you're gonna pick.
I'll think it over. Why don't you guys give your answer while I mull?
Go ahead, Cass.
No, I just thought Polly was gonna pick Trump.
Oh.
Not Trump.
Because admittedly, that guy just, if he's not sticking his foot in his mouth in a damn interview, he's tweeting something out that he shouldn't be tweeting out. But then again,
then he does stuff like,
part of me that,
well, then he sends out stuff like he did about Bannon. Like, Jesus Christ, that was
right.
The button thing was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was like the best tweet I've heard all year. And we're only 5 days into it, 4 days into it.
I almost think that he does this stuff on purpose as like a distraction. He gets people riled up about the shit he's tweeting out that doesn't actually mean anything, and then turns around and actually does stuff under the table that nobody's paying attention to because they're too busy bitching about his tweets.
Oh yeah.
Every person who voted for Trump let out a collective "yeah" when they saw that tweet. I guarantee it. That's right. My button works, man. So don't come at me.
It's like I keep giving the example of during the hurricane in Houston. You know, everybody was so concerned with that. Everybody was so concerned with the sheriff that he let out of jail or pardoned. And they were so upset that he didn't realize he slipped that trans ban in under the radar.
Yeah.
And didn't find out until after the fact.
Yeah, it's because they only check his Twitter feed. They don't actually do any real reporting or journalism anymore. It's just lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned this to Polly the other day. Can you imagine what would happen if Trump created a Gab account?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That would be the end of Twitter in a matter of hours. The entire world would create Gab accounts to see what he was going to say.
That's true.
That's the thing is, Twitter knows they can't ban him as much as SJWs want him to. They know they cannot ban him because the second they do, there'll be such outrage.
Even if they, but if they do, he just goes to Gab and the entire world follows him.
Right? And they know it.
Twitter's bleeding enough subscriptions as it is between their bans and people just getting tired of the nonsense.
If I had one wish for the new year, that would be that the president moved over to Gab. I would just love to see the Twitter just burst into flames. I mean, nothing make me happier.
You know, speaking of Trump, I think it was Philly D today suggested that this whole riling up North Korea was to get them to reopen, like a chess game to get them to reopen communications with South Korea again, just to find out what the fuck is going on.
That's a legitimate opinion. I think that holds a lot of weight because
it just lends so much credence to my theory of that he does all this shit and just riles people up as a distraction.
He made a change. When was the last time North Korea made any attempt to talk to South Korea?
It's only been over 2 years since they spoke last.
2 years. Even though South Korea called him twice a day, every day for 2 years. After Trump gives a little verbal beatdown, suddenly they're willing to talk.
It's because Trump's a wild card. Nobody actually knows what he's going to do. He could actually just drop a bomb on him. We don't know.
Yeah, I think he plays that point. I don't think he actually would, but he plays the point of the unstable guy. I mean, we've seen this again in Star Trek. You get a captain who people have no idea what he's going to do. Everyone's like, and they take a couple steps back because they're afraid. Exactly. They never know what he's going to do. And that's the cards that Trump is playing so well.
Yeah, that's some Art of War shit there.
It's fourth dimensional chess. I believe it.
Mustafa says, fuck that. I want to see the reaction of him starting a Tumblr block.
Where will the Tumblrites go? Because they won't be able to stay after that. They'll leave out of just frustration and...
Tumblr accounts.
Yeah, that's funny as fuck.
People talk about YouTube. If you want to talk about crazy stuff on the internet, man, Tumblr, holy mackerel.
Oh, speaking of crazy stuff on the internet, TheJackCochran tweeted out something earlier.
The Tennessee man?
No. This is a list of Star Wars characters who are probably gay.
Oh no.
And it's
so
from
stupid.
It's from BuzzFeed, guys.
A surprise.
I know. Hold on, let me actually just throw this in the chat in case anybody wants to see it. And then people that are watching the stream later, because that's when I get all of my views, there's only 9 watching right now, will be able to go and see this if they want to. There it is. All right, I'm just going to read this out. I'm gonna play scribe here. It's actually pretty short, but I read through the first 2 or 3, and I'm like, no, I got to save this. Jack's on, so it's priceless. Okay.
If you're going to play scribe, I'm going to play monkey, and I'm going to interrupt you.
No, SDA, yeah. So.
Okay.
I call SDA. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Chaos.
So
take SDA. I'll take monkey.
Do I understand that you two are going to be doing impersonations of monkey and SDA?
No.
That might not go over well, guys.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay, so.
No, I love SDA. No, I'm not gonna make fun of her.
I'll play myself and say rude shit in the chat.
Okay. Here are 2 indisputable facts. LGBT people are everywhere, and space is very, very gay.
Wait. Let me just say, Fuck this. Okay. Go ahead, Scribe. Go ahead.
First sentence, right? So, of course, there have to be queer characters in Star Wars. And before you nerds get your lightsabers in a knot in the comments section, remember this. If you can suspend your disbelief to watch a movie about an intergalactic space war, then you can definitely summon the energy to believe there are queer people fighting those battles. So without further ado, here's my list. Okay, here's my list. Needs to end with a colon, and I can't believe you made a then error. My God.
You know what needs to end in the new year? Lists.
Yeah, well, we can. Yeah, it's a short description underneath each one. Oh, so do you want to go from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1? You can go either way. I'm not sure if they're in any particular order.
Just go over quickly.
Oh, actually, it goes up to 15. Okay, shit. Well, okay, we'll just go from 1 here. Let me go back to the beginning. And Chewbacca is number 1. And the reasoning is that he's a total drama queen, always making loud noises. He's basically the intergalactic version of a bear, probably gay. Okay.
No, he's the one who's
Since when are bears gay? Does anybody even know who bearing is?
I think it means bear, like
bears are not gay.
You know, bear, like you know, like
bear, like in the context of
bears want
society,
twinks.
Bear?
Yeah.
Give it about 10 seconds for it to catch up to chat, and you'll have schools ranting about bears.
Right, and it's really more like 25 seconds. It's an Inception stream from my potato. Number 2, Luke Skywalker. Luke's journey is basically a metaphor of a young twink coming out and growing up to be a daddy. Think about it.
Oh, God.
Give me a break.
Also, kissing your sister just screams beard. Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's kind of incest, but it's not gay.
Yeah.
Are you saying that gay people have a propensity towards incest?
There we go. School says bears want twinks. Fuck you. Gross.
Admiral Holdo, or as she's lovingly known online, Admiral Gender Studies. Canonically,
oh, God.
Thank you so much for that video, Sargon. That was one of your best snarky things in a good long while. Canonically, might be queer. Also, that purple hair, she did what she had to do.
Is it purple?
Yeah.
It was kind of like what's that? I thought it was like a magenta. Isn't that like a pink?
Are we going to start arguing if it's really more of a mauve? I mean, come on, purplish.
Mauve. No, I don't think so.
Whatevs, man.
Was it purplish?
Now the conversation's gay.
Yeah, no shit. That's what. Okay, number 4. At least one stormtrooper. Statistically speaking, it has to be true. Jar Jar Binks. That's probably the only true one in here. The one that makes sense. It's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, okay, I get your point.
Most of the stormtroopers, weren't they mostly clones?
Originally.
Yeah.
They recruited it afterward when they expanded.
Yeah.
So wouldn't they all be the same as the original? Which probably wasn't.
Number 5, Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks is totally gay, but not in the way that they mean it here.
Misa doesn't think so.
As much as I hate to claim him as one of our own, Jar Jar is basically every gay encounter on the dance floor you have at a club for one who's had too many vodka sodas.
Notice nobody wants to claim Jar Jar Binks.
I've never declared something being homophobic before, but that was straight up hateful of gays to, like, yeah, basically all drunk gays act like Jar Jar Binks. That's cold, man. That's really cold.
Yeah.
Mon Mothma. Badass female leader of the rebels. You know it has to be true. Why? Why does it have to be true? I don't get it.
Why does it have to be?
So these are there's no proof to any of these. No backing to it. It's just
it's
just names a name and says yes.
It's just it's BuzzFeed. It's just we want to talk about gay shit and SJW shit, and we're gonna include pop culture stuff for clicks. That's got me here, and that's the whole point, right?
Stupid.
Yeah. Darth Maul.
Somebody got paid for this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. More than they should have. Well, whatever they got paid, it was too much. But
yeah.
Number 7, Darth Maul. Face beat to perfection. Definitely an aspiring MUA queen. I don't know what that is. I don't.
Here's why. You need to get a resident gay to translate it for us.
Yeah, school. What is a MUA queen? especially an aspiring one. C-3PO. Can a robot be gay? I think so. Why? Because he's effeminate? I mean,
Of course you do.
everyone's been cracking that joke forever that, C-3PO is gay because he's so effeminate and anal retentive, not that other kind.
Well, we don't know.
Number 9.
Maybe R2D2 access took the little buzzer thing up. No, never mind.
Yeah, well, that little computer hacky deal he has kind of does look like a robo dildo, doesn't it? Every time he rolls up,
R2D2 looks like a robo dildo.
Little big, don't you think? For what? A fucking bantha?
I don't know. You'd be surprised at the porn I watch.
He doesn't sound so much like gay as he does a social justice warrior. He's so worried about. Did you hear that? They shut down the main reactor. We'll be destroyed for sure. I mean, it just sounds like an SJW.
Oh, Schoolboy says it's for makeup artist, MUA. That's a little obvious. I think we should have just guessed that and figured it out.
So
Fuck.
does that make school an MUA queen?
An aspiring MUA queen?
Oh, he's not aspiring. He has like a degree in it and shit.
Number 9, Emperor
Yeah, I like to have
Palpatine.
makeup.
Always wearing ornate flowing clothing, a flair for the dramatic, and I'm sorry, quote, turning to the dark side is definitely code for going gay. Whatever. Snoke, see above.
Robe?
Mm-hmm.
A flowing robe?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody in Saudi Arabia is gay?
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was just, well, you really went there, didn't you? And
That's interesting.
Snoke, for the same reasons as Emperor Palpatine, just as see above.
In other words, I couldn't think of anything original.
Mm-hmm.
Qui-Gon Jinn, that hair, that flow. That's it.
Terrible problem with things that flow.
Number 12, Grand Moff Tarkin. Uniform pressed to perfection and is obsessed with blowing up stuff. I'm calling it gay. Okay. If this wasn't written by someone who was an actual homosexual, this would come across as like, really homophobic, would it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
Number 13, Captain Phasma. Anyone whose armor is that shiny is definitely a little queer. Really? those chrome rims on your car, Hammer. You're gay, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. Apparently. Makes me never want to wash my car again.
Finn. Yep. That's all it says. And then number 15, Poe Dameron. This is basically canon. Sorry, Rose.
I need to get a job at BuzzFeed. If you can write this kind of tripe and get paid for it.
Right?
Holy crap.
Yeah.
You don't even have to spell things right or use proper grammar.
See, you're a cis white male though.
For now.
Cis.
I can create a fake profile. I'm pretty good at that.
I mean, the thing that kills me about BuzzFeed? Like, there's BuzzFeed News, and people meaning CNN and MSNBC, actually report what they have to say, and they actually think of themselves as a news organization. When you're at BuzzFeed.com, and in the top right-hand corner, your 4 options for categories are LOL, WTF, OMG, and cute.
Yeah.
And
Hard-hitting news.
those were the journalists with the balls to publish the Trump dossier. Oh, those hard-hitting journalists with their incredible research acumen. Fuck. Why? Alt media and new media, and as they call it, it's great because it allows, for all the reasons that people know, it allows the average person just with a webcam and a microphone to be able to broadcast himself live like me. Why the hell is anyone listening to us? Well, it's because the new media allows it. But then it also allows shit like BuzzFeed. Fuck. It... Find it
You take
frustrating.
the good with the bad, and then you have the facts of life.
God.
Most of my references are TV. Sorry. That's all I got.
We're not going to start talking about TV. We're not ape and monkey style that bad. Let's talk about the shows of yesteryear. I totally would, but I just don't want to ape his style that bad.
You guys want to hear a good article? I got a funny one.
Sure.
All right. So apparently there's some new drugs going around, and I stumbled across this article.
While you were doing
Tennessee man
drugs?
No, I was researching something else.
Oh, the article is about the drugs. Okay.
Yes.
All
yeah,
right.
well, partly. It's about a user.
All right.
It's much more hilarious than that, I assure you. So, Tennessee man high on wasp spray dope found naked in tree after breaking into a stranger's house. Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Officials in Tennessee are incredibly concerned about a dangerous new drug following a disturbing incident before Christmas in which a man ended up naked in a tree. The Lawrenceburg Sheriff's Office says Danny Hollis was high on wasp spray dope when he walked into a home in Lawrenceburg on December 18th and told the family inside that he needed help. The family, who was making Christmas cookies at the time, had never seen Hollis before, but he was quickly helping himself to a glass of water from their sink. He then allegedly took out a knife and cut himself across the throat. My mom was...
Whoa.
Oh, it gets better. My mom was like, "You're bleeding all over our stuff. Can you not?" said Kanan Johnson, 16, who was home during the bizarre incident. Kanan said Danny Hollis then ran to the second floor of the home where he proceeded to throw an oak dresser down the stairs. The falling dresser punctured a massive hole in the sheetrock above the stairs. I posted the link to the video of this. That kid is hilarious. Hollis then jumped out of a second floor window, landing on a gazebo below and severely injuring his neck. At this point, Cannon says the family had gotten into the car to call 911. As Hollis tried to chase the family down the street, he got stuck on a piece of barbed wire fence. According to a police report, he then stripped down naked in order to free himself from the fence. By the time officials arrived, they found Hollis 6 feet off the ground in a tree, completely naked.
Of course.
As officers attempted to use a stun gun to get Hollis out of the tree, he allegedly began throwing his own fecal matter at the officers.
Of course.
They say he didn't remember any of it. How is that possible? Kanan wondered. And then it just gives some description about how the meth is processed with wasp spray. They crystallize the wasp spray and cut it with the meth, and that's what's causing all this like bath salt reaction. But yeah, I'll link the video in my Twitter if you guys want to check it out. It's hilarious. Highly recommend watching it.
That's fuck.
Yeah. Story of the year, in my opinion. I almost peed myself laughing so hard.
I mean, that's on the level of zombie bath salts where people are like chewing off faces and shit. Like, what the fuck?
Right? I was like, man, this guy's got to move to Florida.
Florida man.
I got a question. Am I the only one that was aware that you can get high as fuck off nutmeg? I never have, but am I not the only one who knew that? I'll mention that to people, and they're like,
I've heard that before.
Don't know anything about that.
Yeah. Like, go ahead and Wikipedia it and like look it up. Like a tablespoon and a half or whatever it is produces euphoria, and then it goes up from there. And it ain't no 4-hour high or whatever. It's like 72 hours. Like, you go to sleep and wake up and you're still strobing fucked. Apparently, it's popular in prison for that reason.
Wow, it sounds like it's pretty dangerous, though. Nasty side effects. About 30 minutes to an hour after taking large doses of nutmeg, people usually have severe gastrointestinal reactions, including nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. But that's just the beginning. Hours into the high, people can suffer from heart and nerve problems as well.
Yeah, wow.
Well, that's a fun high.
And that's the media telling you that, so you know that it's probably not true.
Right. It's stay out of your mother's spice rack, kids.
They don't. Yeah, they don't want you to be. They don't want you to get high and have a good time. So they'll say, "Oh, by the way, it does all these terrible things to you too. So don't do it."
I guess one of the common ways to do it, like in prison, is just simply, your tablespoon of ground nutmeg mixed into a cup of cold water and whew, right down. I'm like, oh, it's like the easiest delivery method for a drug ever. And no needles or rolling papers or anything.
Yeah, doesn't that take kind of the fun out of the drug use, though?
Yeah, there isn't much of a ambiance or a mystique around it because I'm going to roll this blunt and I want it to look just so, and it's no. You just mix it.
There's no art to that.
No.
Yeah, there's no wrapping the rubber around your arm before you insert the needle. All that fun part is gone.
All the burning of the spoons and getting some tin foil and getting your fingers all burn up, and yeah, it seems to
fun
ruin
bubbly
the thrill.
sounds.
That's the art to it that you're referring to.
Yeah. You got to sexy it up for the movies. You don't want just some kid being like, "You want to snort a couple lines of nutbag off the counter with me?" It's weird.
Well, not even that. You're not even snorting. You're just drinking it. That was like a drink mix.
Yeah.
It's
like
at least snorting it. There's something to it.
Yeah, it's how you take stool softener that way too. That's boring. It's Mucilax. Meh.
Yeah. Well, did anybody? As I was just looking at Twitter here, reminded me of something. Did anybody watch Scribe's video from today?
Yeah, I did.
Fucking excellent video.
Yeah,
it was.
All of his videos are excellent.
Yeah, I watch all his videos as they're posted, but this one stood out to me as like, wow, Scribe, well done. Like it's a. Did you watch Chaos? Are you still here, Chaos?
I'm still here.
Yeah, are you actually though?
No, you guys were just talking. I was just letting you talk.
Oh, all right.
Sorry.
You good? Vibes in the Salway.
Cis privilege,
You guys to shut the fuck up and let me talk.
Well, by all means,
propaganda.
Let the overwhelming cis folks fall silent, and Chaos can speak.
What'd you think of the video, Chaos?
I didn't see it today.
Oh, you didn't see it?
I mean, I saw he posted. I just haven't had a chance to watch it.
Just love fucking with you, Chaos. It's all good. It was, what's it called? Islam Impulse, Islam Impact, the name of the channel that he's doing it on.
Yeah.
And it was called Pious Propaganda. Scribe's videos was titled that. He just takes it on point for point he's presenting it with levity. I would not say he's cracking jokes, but it's extremely well done because it's what I would call sober analysis. It was just, this is propaganda. It clearly is. Look at what this guy is doing. He's clearly speaking to a certain audience to make them think that the Islamic Republic of Iran, the government there, is not crushing its people. It's actually a very democratic state, describes it as the most democratic state in the Islamic world. And it's, you're just sitting there just rubbing your head thinking, what are you talking about? Oh, this isn't meant for me. This is meant.
You can see Spock's eyebrow throughout the entire video. There's no doubt that he's like, what?
Yeah. It's why I thought it was so good that he criticized it is that I don't think that anybody who is convinced of what he was spouting, it was meant for an echo chamber. There, that's the best way to say it. That was the intended audience of, if you have heard about the protests going on in Iran, here is the quote-unquote proper way of contextualizing what's been happening. Iran's great. Rigid Islamic rule is great. It's not rigid at all. It's in fact righteous. And here's all these ways. And America's actually the one that's an imbalanced state and has a failed democracy because of the protests that happened after Trump's election and stuff. That's an example of a failed state. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a failed state.
And
then Scribe points out that on the scale of 1 to 40 of best places to live, Iran is 40.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst place to live.
And it got me thinking that people that subscribe to that kind of worldview are not going to see Scribe's video. And
yeah,
I thought that's too bad. But then I thought, no, see, that doesn't matter. Because in my opinion, it's more important to show people that are not in that echo chamber, here is the propaganda that goes on inside that echo chamber. Take a listen. I'm going to deconstruct it. This is why people have the worldview that they have regarding Sharia law. Because this kind of shit flies around. And I'm like, and that makes your video really important, dude. I wish more people watched it. I tweeted about it because not that there's that many people following me, but whatever, man. Every other person who watches that video is taking something good away from it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, no, not Islam Pulse, Islamic Pulse. What was it? Or Islamic Impact? What was it, Hammer? I can't quite remember.
It is Islamic Pulse.
Islamic Pulse. Okay.
Yeah, I just put it in chat.
So what did you do today, Chaos? You clearly weren't watching YouTube, so.
I worked.
You worked?
Yeah, and after work I ran straight home, let the dogs out, and then left and went to D&D. So.
Went to D&D?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, you gamed today. Okay, I see. A little slow on the uptake there.
So
Well,
I hadn't had much time to do anything today.
So unless Jack or Hammer had any particular topics, I'm happy to turn it over to chat for further discussion. We're running about
No, we hit most of the stuff that I was thinking about today.
I mean, we could go on and on about the JF, or actually Sargon and...
Did we hit Ranting Feminist and her little indie project thing?
Well, not on this stream we didn't. What are you talking... And I don't know what you mean.
Okay. You guys know who Ranting Feminist is, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's supposed to be the most centered feminist on YouTube, more or less. I mean, that's kind of how she's portrayed by a lot of people, including Monkey. I've been trying to get a dialogue going with her for a long time, but she won't have anything to do with me. I think she found out I was MGTOW, that stopped it right there. But she did a tweet about this game that features a young, I guess, black woman who is trying to find water. It's a side scroller kind of platformer kind of deal. And she runs around, she avoids all these dangers, and she's running around trying to find water. And she's saying, why can't this game be great? Because it has a black person in it?
It's stupid.
No, because it's a stupid concept.
Is it? Yeah, I thought to myself, and I tweeted this to her, know your audience. Your audience is a bunch of young boys who have too much time on their hands. They're not going to identify with a young black woman trying to find water. That they want CS:GO. All right, they want Halo, they want World of Warcraft. They don't want this. They don't identify with this. That's why it's not going to get anywhere.
No.
Yeah, it's well done. It looks great. It looks like a fun game, but no one's ever going to play it.
No, I know exactly how you could fix this. You use it first-person shooter style. You have a canteen in one hand, and you have to avoid a bunch of rape gangs and psychos like that, and you do it just like you would Call of Duty, except in one hand you have a canteen and whatever you can find in the other, knife, pointy stick, and you have to dodge. You'll have a meter for your clitoris not getting cut off.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that game would be awesome. I'd play that. It'd be like the first Medal of Honor with the canteens.
Jack, you're awesome.
You can't tell me you won't play that game.
Yeah, I'd probably play it.
See? Sounds awesome. I just fixed the game. And now you're raising awareness and getting all these kids to play. It's got nothing to do with being black. It's stupid. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I can name a game off the top of my head that was a very popular mainstream game that starred a female minority.
Metroid.
Well, Metroid was female, yeah. She was white, though. Do you guys ever hear they got the game Remember Me?
No, I never heard of it.
Oh, yeah, I played that. Wasn't that an Asian chick or something?
Right, it was made by a mainstream company, too. Capcom made it.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun game.
Yeah, it really was. And it wasn't because she was female or because she was... I think she was mixed race, like Asian and black.
Nice.
I don't know, it was hard to peg, but, it wasn't about what she looked like. It was because the fucking story was good. It was set in a dystopian future where people's memories could be rewritten. And she was like a mind hacker of sorts that could rewrite people's memories. And it was really interesting, engrossing story, and that's why that game was good.
Hence the Remember Me. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But Randy Feminist was pushing this because the girl was black. That's the reason why.
That's stupid. That's a stupid. If the game isn't fun to play, who cares what color the characters are? That's dumb. They don't understand why people are playing it. They're frauds, charlatans going in and trying to tinker with something for their agenda. Oh, sorry, I just turned into my dad. Oh my god. Wait a minute.
You knew it was going to happen one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's okay. I remember the one day that I was working on something, and I was taking the back off of a device, and the tabs that hold it on broke because they're made of plastic, and I threw the thing at the ground and said, "Cheap plastic crap!" And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm my dad." But, you know, so Platty was just asking opinions on my face reveal or my name change. I didn't see that you changed your name. Did you mean on Discord? Because it's still up there as Fat Platypus. But as for the face, well, Platty's a little cutie. Oh my God. Long flowing hair.
People were giving me shit. People were looking at me oddly because I said Platty was cute.
Yeah, see, I didn't even get what you meant by that. I was
Hammer?
like, I thought you meant
Hammer said Platty was cute. I was like, yeah, he's cute.
I thought you were referring to the interaction between Chaos and Platty. That's what I thought you meant when you said cute, because I was like, I'm not
cute too.
Well,
see, me in school are gonna teach her how to do makeup, and then she's gonna give me a run for my money.
But I didn't realize it's because you had seen a picture. I just including because I hadn't. I don't go to private in the Minion server as often as I probably should, and I end up missing shit like that. But Platty DM me now. Yeah, Platty's a little cutie.
Yeah, I don't understand why it would be such a shock that I would think that Platty is cute, because Platty's cute. I don't understand why that's such a big deal. Because I'm a heterosexual white male. Is that the reason why I can't think Platty's cute? I mean,
it's because everybody else is insecure in their cisness. That's the problem.
Do you really think that's true?
But I don't know. I'm taking a guess. It's like, why would they have a problem with it? I don't know. I didn't have a problem to say what I thought, and because I'm pretty secure in my cisness. Please don't let that become a saying. That's a terrible saying.
Oh, it's too
Secure
late.
in your system.
Cis so fragile.
I am very secure in myself, and I know what I like and what I don't like. And if I think somebody is cute, I don't care if what they are or who they are. That's cute is cute. Sorry if that shatters some kind of perception of me, but not at all.
Ply says, I'm blushing as much as a pale person as me can do. What do you mean? Pale people blush like a motherfucker. What do you
Let me ask you this, Platty. If I said the same thing about Far, would she blush as much as you are?
Good question.
Why is it so much more of a deal if I call you pretty than I call Far pretty? Or both women, right? As a matter of fact, I haven't even seen a picture of Far yet. She won't show me a picture of herself.
I've seen a picture of Far.
One time, and then she went back and deleted it.
That wasn't what I said. What I said is I have.
No, I know. It's just I just went totally unaware of this picture of Platty for a while, so I was like, oh, I've actually seen something before people.
Yesterday.
I'm telling you, when you see her picture, Far's picture, it looks so much like her artistic rendering of herself, her cartoon rendering. It's
Oh, really?
yeah. I mean, human and adorable more so than the cartoon, but yeah.
I'm just sitting here looking through my games on Steam, figuring out which of them have female leads, and I've got 10, 20 off the top of my head, just going through the list.
That was a general reply to Ranting Feminist, was like, are you kidding me? Look at all these women in games.
I can name another very popular one that everyone in this chat will know. Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, Lara Croft.
Yeah,
but she was Miss Huge Tits. Wouldn't she make a big like feminist frequency argument out of the fact that her tits are bigger than her head?
Well, see, that's the thing, is that since the reboot, she's actually more down to earth, more approachable as a character.
Okay.
Yeah.
The remake of the first remake was, oh my god, it was so good, because you got to watch her evolve as a character as she went along. She started out as this scared college student who was being attacked by these pirates, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. They ruined her.
No, I loved it. I loved it because you got to watch her slowly evolve through the game as she got harder. But first she's sitting there begging for mercy and running scared, and then by the end of the game, you're just running up to people with a pickaxe and stabbing them in the head with it. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I also missed the original version where you could get her on all fours and make her back up and move forward.
All of the terminology here is shockingly sexualized. It's like get her on all fours, and the game makes it really hard. And like, wow, what are you guys talking about? Fuck, never played Tomb Raider in my life. I've seen the character, like, you know, in playbacks and shit like that, but I've never played Tomb Raider.
I played Tomb Raider when her chest was just a bunch of huge triangles.
Yeah, sexy triangles.
Sexy triangles.
Polygons be hot, yo.
Yeah. Oh, look at those pixels move.
But that was before people they had incorporated jiggle physics into video games, isn't it?
Yeah, it was also before all this stupid SJW nonsense. Because like, PS1 had a lot of female leads. You had Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. You had the whatever her name was from Parasite Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Even some characters in Final Fantasy, and of course Tomb Raider. And there were others, Metroid, Seamus, whatever her name is, Samus. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that focusing on some modern character is ridiculous because there's so many games, just like Hammer said, that feature female leads. And KS, you gave what, like 10? You said right off the top of your head.
Yeah, I could seriously, I go down the list and name all the games. None of them are mainstream, but are super popular. But most of these are still pretty playable games that have female leads.
Yeah, people are just finding stupid things to nitpick about. It's so lazy. We really do need a good war to get people from navel gazing all the time.
Oh, please don't wish that on us.
Oh, Hammer, and everyone else listening. Interestingly enough,
I feel prompted of the Lord to tell you something this morning.
Oh, fuck off with your autoplay ads.
If you want to see women in gaming, just buy yourself a copy of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Ball.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, classic.
Beach ball volleyball.
Yeah, I've seen
There's
that.
plenty of women in gaming there.
Yeah, not the kind that would make ranting feminists happy, I'm sure, but they're there.
Probably not.
Yeah.
See, that's the best part about that game is despite it being you're oogling the girls in bikinis, every single one of those women in that game could kick your ass.
Yeah, and I bet that game passes the Bechdel test because they're not talking about a boy.
Mm-hmm. So the feminists should be happy.
Remember, if anyone ever brings up the Bechdel test to you like, as a positive metric for judging the quality of a film regarding to women, just point out to them all 5 Twilight films pass the Bechdel test individually. There you go. Now,
Oh, God.
Hammer, we were talking about the Clinton I was talking about the Clinton Foundation earlier. Just released. They are under investigation from the Justice Department.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I know, right? Companies used Clinton fundraisers to lobby the State Department. The nexus among private companies, Hillary Clinton's State Department, and the Clinton family foundations is closer and more complex than even Donald Trump has bothered to claim so far. While it's widely known that some companies and foreign governments gave money to the foundations, perhaps in an effort to gain favor, one of the key parts of the puzzle hasn't been reported. At least a dozen of those same companies lobbied the State Department using lobbyists who doubled as major Clinton campaign fundraisers.
Wow.
Like, they're gangsters. The Clintons are fucking mob, man. They're in everything.
What tells me about all this is that the Clintons point at Trump and say, Russian collusionists, when they were the Russian collusionists. How big of the balls do you have to do to accuse somebody of something that you're doing yourself that you know that they're innocent of?
No, it's just like people always accuse somebody of cheating. They're usually the cheaters.
Right.
You know, it's a spouse abuse sort of thing.
It's projecting.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
She's going to go to jail.
I don't know about that.
They have a Parkinson's ward at the jail.
Oh, god damn, Jack.
Too soon?
She's not going to live long.
No, it's not too soon. It's just, it's a little bit of whiplash over here. I'll recover. Okay. Yeah, we might as well go turn over to chat unless there's any other breaking news that anybody wants to talk about. I'm personally going to go do a lot of reading about this because I've got a certain friend of mine in graduate school that I'm going to pummel with this because he's a big defender of the Clinton Foundation and thinks that I'm a Trump apologist for saying so, and I can't wait to stick it to him.
There you go.
Yeah. And who's reporting that? Everybody. That's who's reporting that. Well, everybody except for MSNBC and CNN, because they might have spent 30 seconds on it before cutting to commercial on their last news program of the day.
Yeah.
So I realize we got a few people listening to us, but if they have any questions, oh, Communist in Space is here, yay! We can.
I love Communist in Space. I love how him and Monkey go at each other. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and what's his name? The guy who's ellipsis fact. I am cancer. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's funny. He can be an asshole, but his trolls are often pretty damn
I try to
good.
explain to him, no matter how many times he puts the word fact at the end of a sentence, it doesn't actually mean that they are facts.
He knows that. He writes stuff like sprinkles are better on soft serve than hard ice cream. Fact. Like, you know, he just
Hard ice cream. What the fuck? Who thinks about that shit? Oh my god.
You find a duffel bag with $12,000. What do? Scan the room quickly for anybody staring at you?
Yeah, it depends where I found it.
Yeah, would I be thoughtful of taking it? Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, if I'm walking down the sidewalk and like going to get I don't know, soft serve ice cream with sprinkles on it, and there was a bag just sitting there, fuck yeah, I'd take it. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, it's different. Do you find it in an abandoned building, unattended, and it's like old money from DB Cooper, or do you find it in a blood-soaked room with a bunch of dead gangsters?
Hold on.
Oh, God.
Did you just reference
saying
DB
context
Cooper?
Yeah, I just made a DB Cooper reference.
Do you Chaos and you Hammer know who DB Cooper is?
I'm old. I know everything.
Oh, okay.
Cooper is.
Oh, okay. I thought that was pretty obscure. Apparently, it's more well known than I thought. I thought Jack was really reaching into the obscurity bag for that. That was pretty cool.
No, that's one of the most common conspiracy theory things.
Yeah, whatever became a DB. Yeah.
Yeah, I can bust out an Axeman in New Orleans reference too if you want. I'm full of arcane weird shit. It's all useless.
Man, and people are still just well, wait a minute, people. That would be Chaos are still shooting out the names of video games. Nobody cares what your video games, okay?
All the female protagonists.
Whispering Willows? That sounds...
that one's actually... That one's even better because it's about a Native American girl.
Oh.
Is she hot?
She's like 14.
Oh.
What you can do is come up with all these names and send them to me, and I'll reply to... Or you can do it yourself. I'll reply to Ranting Feminist with all the names.
I'll just give you the list. I'll even let's point out the special ones like this one where it's about a girl whose father goes missing. He was like the caretaker at this old mansion. And so she goes to find him and she gets caught up in all this spirit ghost stuff. But because she's like Native American or whatever, she uses this amulet to see the spirits and interact with them.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
So Communist in Space asks, do you bottle your cum? No, I've never been to a sperm bank. And also says, I like your slightly gay voice. Well, that's the curse of my voice. It appeals to men and women alike. I have no control.
School says it is slightly gay, isn't it?
Like I said, appeals to men and women alike.
In context, just about everything is gay to Schoolboy.
Right.
Hey, you vaping over there, you homo.
Are you trying to say vaping's gay?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. My rental agreement. I'm trying to cut down smoking. My rental agreement won't let me smoke in here.
Smoking cigarettes and getting cancer is hetero.
You're right.
Yeah, that's manly.
About it.
Like fuck cancer, cigarettes. See that's you're just kicking death in the nuts. Vaping's like I want the benefits without the risk.
Yeah, and I've tried telling people before, doctoral students, we live off of caffeine and nicotine. It's, that is life. And if you want to stop smoking, you got to get it some other way. And what am I going to wear, a patch? No, that's gay.
That depends how many you're wearing. If you have like 5 on, you're pretty hardcore because you're going to die.
I put 5 on over my heart. Yeah, I want to go right to the main organ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think of Ploy Jr. talking otter? See, I keep hearing this reference that this otter can talk. Have people heard this otter talk?
I don't know. I know he drinks a lot though.
Yeah. I have seen Ploy Jr. with a cup of coffee, and in several posed photogenic pictures, but never talking. Haven't seen that yet. So although I'm not going to lie, I'm very worried because I believe that Farr is in control of what this otter will be saying. Given that she's named it Ploy Jr., I'm sure it's going to be nothing complimentary to me.
You just found out who Eliza Dushku is?
No, he was mentioning, was the game Wet? Ruby Malone was the character in Wet, but she was voiced by Eliza Dushku.
Who is Eliza Dushku?
Well, surprising you should ask. I just put a link in chat.
Oh.
And this one's not
Maxim.
Ooh, Maxim.
Was that the chick from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the dark-haired one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's not working.
Yeah, what are you doing? Posting rumor links, man.
She was the other Slayer, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she is hot.
Watch out. Hammer posts links to Russian
HTTPS.
fucking keyloggers.
I wonder if it's HTTPS stuff that's the problem with posting things, because it used to work, but now posting links in chat is having problems. I wonder if it's HTTPS that's causing it.
Are you running HTTPS everywhere as an add-on?
Then our live Extreme Beach Volleyball link works.
It did? Was it an HTTPS link or was it just a regular HTTP link?
It's HTTPS.
Oh, let me see if I can find one that's another link for the same picture. View image. This is a different link. I don't know if this one will work. Same picture, but it's a different link. See if that works.
All right.
Careful, might be a picture of Liz reptile porn.
Well, it's at pbs.com now.
Does that one work?
It's saying it's pictures of Eleanor Roosevelt
No,
now.
I'm in a blank page.
Yeah, I got the
These are all the same pictures at different places.
wild.
So it works for me. At least that last one did.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Try the last one because it worked for me.
And
There
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, hello.
Yeah.
I like that picture.
She's a little hottie.
Hello, desktop image.
Ever since was it Arnold? Yeah, it was Arnold. True Lies. Ever since she was in True Lies, I was like, I like her.
As what? The daughter?
Yeah.
She was like fucking
You know what
14
they-
there, wasn't she?
No, she played 14.
How old was
She
she?
was
You know what
19.
First things that she was
Oh.
ever in that most people don't remember. Bring It On,
Yeah.
What
the
that?
cheerleading movie.
Yeah, I was about to say the
she was the
cheerleading battle
motorcycle-
movie. Are you fucking kidding me?
I can't watch that movie.
She had that
Sensory.
chain. Yeah, she had that chain. She was the biker chick with a fake tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that.
The funniest part about her, when she was on Buffy, she was the youngest member of the cast at that point. Like, she was in her late teens, and all of them were in their 20s. So she was like, she felt really inexperienced and really intimidated going on to that show, but she had to be the person who is the most intimidating character on the show.
Yeah.
I found it really amusing. Little anecdote there.
Yeah, she's 37 now.
God, really?
I'm gonna watch True Lies again. Now that you mentioned it, I got a really sweet Blu-ray
Yeah.
copy of it.
You have a Blu-ray?
Fuck that.
copy?
No,
Watch
no.
Bring It On again.
1080 DVD. It's not Blu-ray. That's right. Yeah, no.
1080 DVD?
Yeah, it's not a Blu-ray.
Oh, and let's not forget Dollhouse.
I
Dollhouse
have
was
the-
great.
I have the Blu-ray.
Do
That
you?
was a good show.
Oh yeah.
Cool. No. Bring It On sucked. Sorry, guys. That's just. It's,
Oh,
I
yeah, as a
love
plot,
Bring It
yeah, but if you watch it on mute,
Yeah, I love that movie.
You know, I was
Forget Kirsten Dunst.
I was made to sit through. Oh shit! What was that movie called? Where was the two dancing crews going up against each other? Little Kim was in it for like 5
you got
minutes.
served.
You Got Served. I was made to watch You Got Served once. Man, that film was. Whew. How do you make a music video into a 90-minute feature film? Well, watch that movie and you'll find out.
You know what's worse is Drumline.
I love Drumline.
Oh,
That-
I hate that movie so
Who
much.
was the girl? It was the girl who plays the female in Galaxy. What the hell's her name? She plays her too, doesn't she?
Nichelle Nichols?
Oh, Zoe Saldana.
Oh.
Yeah, Zoe Saldana. She played in that movie with Nick Cannon, right?
I don't know. I blacked out about halfway through that movie.
She's out there dancing and that. Yeah, I'm not gonna ever forget that movie.
Yeah, I can sit through just about any bad movie out there. I own quite a few, but those movies just something about them makes my brain shut off, and it's like a survival mechanism to preserve what's left of my sanity.
I'm lying. I'm looking for the cast of John Line. Cast is Zoe Saldana as Leela, and Nick Cannon as Devin.
Hey, Mustafa points out that the links that you're posting have this little string at the end, and if you cut that off before you send it, it works. Because when I go up to the bar and
but the last one I sent worked, right? You didn't have to cut anything off of that.
Yeah, it worked.
I think
some links too.
I don't think it's when you post it. I think it's when it processes after you hit enter.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's adding some kind of extension on the end.
No, sometimes.
See, that's the thing where though is that it's on the end of this last one too.
Yet it worked.
BB %BF.
It's probably some kind of new filter system to keep people from putting porn on.
Is something Jack said to talk about after the stream, right? So, I am the Zoe Saldana thing. Am I the only one that thinks like, okay, she's a pretty girl, but I don't think she's hot. People talk about her like she's mind blowing, and she just doesn't do it for me. She's missing the mojo.
She looks better with green skin.
Yes.
Oh, Zoe?
Right.
Zoe Saldana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her versus Gabrielle Union?
Who?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I'm a little biased because my ex and I used to say that if they were ever to make a movie about our lives, that Zoe Saldana would play her and then Chris Hemsworth would play me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you too self-complimentary enough? Fucking hell.
Hey.
No, I'm just there are an incredible amount of absolutely mind-blowingly gorgeous black women in the world, and so is Eldana. She is, like I said, she's a pretty girl. I just don't find her mind-blowing. Like I'm more of a Laura Harrier guy. You guys know that. I mean,
you just like them young.
Laura Harrier's 28.
Oh yeah, that's way too old. I mean,
but the only thing he's seen her was Spider-Man.
Zendaya.
What's your point? Did I need to see her in more than Spider-Man? I saw her once, and I was.
She was a high schooler in Spider-Man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's extra hot,
dude. I mean, Jesus Christ, Jack.
Demonetized.
No, that's not what happened. See, here's what happened. I was like, it's clear that every one of the majority of the kids that were playing kids were not kids. You didn't see it when I looked at her? I'm like,
30s.
It was very clear that they were not kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like looking at her. I'm like, this is clearly a 25-year-old woman.
Oh my God.
And my friend and I were talking about it after the movie. How old do you think all of them were? And looked up Laura Harrier first because I was 27 at the time. I was like, oh shit.
Before I check off to her, I have to look at her.
Yeah, exactly. I better make sure it was okay. I was fapping like mad during the film. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Damn it, Spider-Man, get off the screen. I gotta finish.
And there was no like truly, oh my God, behold this woman's beauty in that film. And I was still smitten. I mean, holy fuck. Just saying. Oh, and I also saw a bit of Iron Man 3 this afternoon. Oh my God. Rebecca Hall. Oh, she's bewitching.
Oh, you and Rebecca Hall, for Christ's sake.
Oh, I won't hear of this. It's just, she's a fantastic beauty. What can I say?
Rebecca Hall.
But she's married now, so it kind of ruins it in an oddly illogical way.
You had a chance.
That's what I'm saying. I said oddly illogical. I still convince myself that I have a chance with Laura Harrier. It could happen. Laura, give me a call.
See if I can find a nice picture of Rebecca Hall.
You just have to hope that their husband is into cuckoldry.
She was in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, she was the botanist.
Oh my God! Speaking of cuckoldry, did you guys see Wild Smiles' video today about Netflix's new commercial?
No.
It's a cuck video. It's
trying to mainstream it.
That
link works.
That was his claim. Is it like, are you guys trying to normalize cuckoldry? Because that's what's going on. You guys, you have to go watch it. It's mind blowing. Like, what were you thinking? Like actually, what was the thought process? What were you trying to do here? There's this corny little high nasally voiced white guy, 2 white girls on the couch, and a big 6'5" black dude. And the 2 white girls and the black guy are sitting on the couch. And he's like, well, I want to get going here. And it's like, oh, well, we're just going to stay here and watch. And then the corny white guy's girlfriend says, yeah, I think I'm going to stay and watch with them. And then the white guy leans in and says, can I watch you watch? Look, what's going on here? This is like legitimately creepy.
No, what's creepy is wanting to watch somebody who's watching sex. That's weird. There's people over here having good times, and you're watching some creepy dude stare at them. That's weird.
Anything out of center, someone's going to try to make it center.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's center. I don't think it's ever going to be center.
Well, it's just like the article I saw a while back that said something along the lines of not letting a black man fuck your wife is low-key racist.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, are you serious?
I went to look it up on the site, and I found a similarly worded article about something else that was, quote, low-key racist. But it wasn't that. I think it was somebody memed it.
There's something even more interesting in that, is that the man has to let the woman. Letting your woman, like, you control her. So there's like all kinds of weird stuff in that statement.
I'm flabbergasted that people even entertain the notion. Is there anything more clearly not racist than saying, no, I'm not okay with you going and fucking that Chinese guy, that black guy, that if you're black, that white guy, like, that you don't need, oh, it's because you're racist. No, it's because you're my wife and that's not my dick. Like, is there anything more clear cut in the world than that?
Apparently it's not that clear.
It is for me.
Edge lines in there.
No, man.
Well, I agree, but yeah.
Why you don't get married?
Well, oh, all right.
No, I don't get married because they'll take half my shit. And I like all my stuff.
The other reason.
You guys are smuggling the message. What's going on here?
See, I'll be honest. I got lucky like you, Hammer. My ex didn't want to take anything from me. She just wanted her stuff. I took my stuff, and we went our separate ways.
That's what happened with me when I got married. My wife was narwhal. She was not all women are like that. So when we split up, she was like, do you want the car? I was like, no, you keep the car. What about the furniture? I'll take some of this. You take some of that. Okay. That's how we split up. It was very amicable.
That's rare.
It is rare.
Mustafa asks, is it weird to say that Laura Harrier looks like a black Amelia Clark? I mean,
that's a selling point.
Yeah, I mean, Amelia Clark, oh yeah, she's hot. There's no question. I'm a fan. But I'm going to have to put up 2 pictures. I mean, I know exactly. I'm just going to have to see in a direct comparison. I certainly know what Laura Harrier looks like. Okay, I'll look into it.
I'll wait till we're off stream to do that. I might need some alone time.
I'll be in my bunk.
I'm going to do some analysis. Leave me alone. It's always Amelia a black Clark. Dude, isn't it? I mean,
well, yeah, I mean...
I guess if you're trying to present obvious cuckoldry, and it's not only that the dude's black, it's that the white guy is a little corny, skinny beta male. That's another aspect of it. God, the whole thing is just like, what are you guys doing? You bunch of what is that?
Link works.
Cool. What does diversity in comics call them? Alt life weirdos.
So, yeah, the childless weirdos.
Yeah.
The alt-life freakazoids.
Alt-life freakazoids. That's right.
Yeah, I have to agree though. I mean, we used to call those people childless weirdos back in the '90s, and yeah, I see it now.
Have you seen the Bob Ross Deadpool trailer? Yes, I have. Yeah, it was good.
That was hilarious.
It was really good. I think personally that they ripped it off of Steven Crowder, but that's okay. That's okay.
Let's draw a little Asian yellow in here. I remember Asia. Charlie coming down the wire.
Son of a bitch.
So, unless somebody has an additional point or a burning topic, I'm going to present.
1 a.m. here.
Yeah, I'm going to present my final question to the panelists here. I'm going to elevate.
Yes. No. I don't know.
You know,
It's not a yes/no
last few
question.
Christmas streams, we haven't talked about anything Christmas related.
Well, and how interesting that you said so, because my question is related to Christmas.
Ah.
What a wonderful segue, Chaos. Thank you.
4D chess, just like Trump.
4D underwater backwards checkers, actually. So my question was, because this is the last Christmastide stream that I'm doing this year. I mean, Christmas will actually continue for another couple of days, but this is my last Christmas stream, at which time I will unveil my new background and theme that I've been working on that I'll run with for a little while. How was your guys' Christmas? It was really nothing more than that. Like, that's the question. I'm curious mostly about, was it any different than previous year's Christmases? And what would you like to do different? Like, if it was unsatisfying in some way, what would you want to get it started earlier, later, more presents, less presents, more festivities, more family, less family? I'm curious about that. Chaos.
Oh, put me on the spot first.
Well, you can pass to someone else if they're willing to go first. You want to think for a second?
Pass.
Pass. Okay.
Hammer, how was your Christmas?
My Christmas was good. It was pretty quiet. I don't have a big family, so it was just, visiting my mom with my brother and my sister. And that's just usually a dinner. And then after that, just me with the girls. That's about it. Just a couple of presents, nothing special. Nice and quiet. Well, kind of Christmas I like.
So nothing so it came up pretty much like you wanted. Nothing you'd want to change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, everybody that's involved in Christmas with me feels pretty much the same way I do, so there was no contention.
Ah, that's pretty good then.
Yep.
What about you there, Jack, music man?
I'm not doing that music.
Who's doing the music?
I am.
Oh, Hammer. Thank you. Makes it festive.
No, mine's pretty boring. I worked a double shift after going to the Chinese restaurant to see my Asians. And that's pretty much it. That's what I do every year.
Okay. And that was fine.
Nothing else open. Yeah,
Sure.
That's standard fare for me.
Okay. And you're totally cool with that? You don't want to try Szechuan next year instead of...
Oh, I mix it up. I usually get like a couple things so I get something to go.
Okay.
So I have something to eat later, so I don't have to go back outside. But yeah, I just work 16-hour shifts, so I don't really do anything too exciting.
Nice. One thing I did want to do this Christmas season, but I didn't get to. Last year I did Christmas sushi twice, which is just having sushi around Christmas time. And I didn't do that this year, and that sucked. That was sad, because it just seems kind of like incommensurate with each other. Like, let's go do Christmas sushi. Christmas what? Like, So it's fun. Why not go do that? And then late Christmas Day, when you've had all the turkey and digested all the turkey, there's a number of 24-hour Chinese joints that are not all that far from me, 45-minute or hour drive, that they do dim sum late at night. I wanted to go do dim sum. I did that last year and didn't get to do it this year. Do you like dim sum?
I like most things Asian.
Okay.
I don't even know the guy.
Have you ever had dim sum, Hammer?
I don't even know what it is.
It's a style of Cantonese cuisine, often eaten around brunch time, mostly with tea, little hand-sized, bite-sized niblets that are often steamed. Not all of them are, but a lot of them are, served in these wicker baskets that are stacked one upon another for easy steaming. They go around with carts, is how it happens at a lot of places, or you put in an order for particular dishes, and it's all totally delicious with few exceptions. The duck tongues you should pass on.
Ew.
It's best not to ask what the food is, unless just ask if you're allergic to something. Ask if that is in there. Don't ask what it is, otherwise you'll get grossed out.
Yeah, and especially
my closest encounter with Asian food is sweet and sour chicken, because it's the closest thing you can get to chicken McNuggets.
It's been a while since I've had good Asian food besides sushi.
Yeah,
Asian restaurant.
The best restaurants are run by Asians, have Asian cooks and a young Asian child running around aimlessly in the store. If there isn't a small Asian child milling around playing with toys, it's not a legit place. Don't eat there. Serious. It has to look a little rundown and kind of sketchy. Like, is this a drug front? And there has to be at least one small child running around aimlessly, looking like he's unsanitarily touching everything.
No health and human services.
That's an authentication.
No health and human certification anywhere. Health and human services certification to be seen.
Yeah, there's one that looks like it was ripped out of like a Pizza Hut doorway and like re-taped on their door. Oh, that talisman against evil.
Yes.
Oh, no, you don't look too close. Go. Eat.
The talisman against evil. Oh my god.
And there's a million items on the menu, and each one of them is numbered, so all the white folk can be like number 23, number 56, number 85, because you can't pronounce like whatever the hell the actual name of it is. Yeah.
They judge you if you mispronounce it.
Yeah, don't even try. Just yell at the number. They're cool with it. You know, it's.
Just give me some
rice. I just want fried rice. Give me some fucking rice.
Yeah. So I didn't get to do that this year, but I'd like to next year. Other than that, there was a couple of films that I wanted to watch with you guys. We got to do it a couple of times, but then I had a couple stream follies, and there was a lot going on, so I didn't get to do all of that. So that's not the best, but that's okay.
Always next year.
Yeah, there is always next year, and that's the beautiful thing. So yeah, unless anybody had any final Christmas thoughts that they wanted to put in, I will wrap it on up.
Wow, you're not even gonna ask me mine, okay?
No, well, fuck, I forgot. You passed. Let's go back. By all means, I do want to hear this.
You passed, so
I did.
No, I do want to hear this. Go ahead.
No, I spent Christmas Day with my family. You know, my parents are kind of going through divorce, so
no,
mostly spent it with my mom and
that's sad.
my siblings. Yes and no, because my dad's acting like an asshole and kind of cut off everybody. So I'm kind of like, you know what, good riddance this point. So, but no, we had a good Christmas otherwise. Yeah, my sister came up from Texas, where she's going to school at, and there was 5 out of 6 of us there, so it was a lot of fun.
Food? I ate too much food.
I eat too much food. My mom loves to cook. She used to be a caterer.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So we get like a huge spread every time she cooks.
Nice.
And I spent Christmas Eve with a couple of you freaks watching movies and stuff. And
yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, that was another thing. I'm sad I missed out on that. The not Naked Gun, Die Hard.
You even asked me about it earlier that day, and I was like, yeah, we're going to do it about this time. And
yeah, I was, and like I said,
back up.
I was legit out Christmasing. I was with family for a little bit, and then some other Christmassy stuff, and then got back too late for it, unfortunately. I remember I logged into the rabbit room, and I was like, I'm waiting for you to welcome me into the rabbit room, Chaos. And you came back and said, we just finished, actually. Fuck! I mean, by minutes. I missed the final scenes of Hans Gruber falling off the tower, Nakatomi Tower, and ugh.
We watched 2.
Oh, you watched 2? Okay.
You missed him dropping the lighter and yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah. Blowing up the airplane over Dulles. Yeah, that's great. So
it
nothing...
was funny because School and Hammer just went back and forth about all the discrepancies in the movie. They just cinema sensed the whole thing.
Oh, really? What, you guys didn't record it, did you?
No, we didn't.
Oh, somebody could have OBS'd it. I would have loved to listen to that as a separate commentary, voice commentary. That would have been great. And
we could do it with the first one.
Yeah. And Platty asks, Ploy has family? What do you mean? You think I emerged from a pod? Yeah, I've got family. What the hell?
Polly was hatched.
Much like
he's a reptilian, confirmed.
Yeah, much like America Chavez, I emerged from another dimension, right? You know what we could do? That's an interesting idea. We'll talk about that when we're off stream. We could do Die Hard as a multi-commentary because it's still not the end of Christmas. There's 2 more days within the 12 days of Christmas, so we could do it then. I hit Inquisitor up for this one project that we've been talking about working on, and of course he didn't get back to me because that's how Inquisitor is, man. Like that guy. He's as reliable as a dildo battery. Okay, so yeah. Does anybody? Isn't that the stereotype? They always die at the wrong time.
I know my ex used to wear hers out.
Well, that doesn't sound good for you.
Like, I'd buy the fucking battery and be like, okay. I'd come home the next day and she's like, hey, do you have any more of those batteries? And I was like, what the fuck? She's like, I'm sorry, I got bored waiting for you to come home. And I was like, damn it, you've only been awake 3 hours.
Yeah, isn't there like dishes to do or something?
Right?
I haven't even been gone that long. That's funny. All right, so.
Oh no, I got to finish up though. So.
I want to start off by thanking chat. Of course, you guys are always awesome, and I appreciate that. And all the chat is now embedded thanks to the Inception stream, so people will know that you were hearing what you were saying and all that other good stuff. And hopefully, I'll still be doing these next year. I plan to be, and we can see if the same chat ends up coming around. If I don't get demonetized and shut off of YouTube within the interim for saying something incredibly stupid, or letting somebody on a stream to say something incredibly stupid. Who knows?
Sorry.
Wow, that's a consciousness of guilt right there.
Oh, I'm just gonna take the blame for it now. So.
All right, so yeah, so absolutely, I want to thank the whole lineup here. It's One Ton Hammer. Thanks, Hammer, as always. That's it. Okay, ChaosEve. Thank you very much for being on. Okay, I get a cough from you. Okay, and Jack the motherfucking Cochran. Thanks for coming on. First time. Hope to have you back soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem.
All
right.
His name, by the way.
Ah, fuck. I will change that soon. God damn it.
You added an E to the end.
Well, that's
There's no E.
That's the way. That's the way the English spell it.
Cocaine?
Anyways, thanks, chat. Thank you all. Have a good night and Merry Christmas.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Bow tie.